there are many add-ons available, and I'd like to show you a little bit about those. So if you will open up a Chrome browser and sign into Chrome, and in order to do that, you're going to have to click the sign in link on the top right of your screen when you get Chrome open, and sign in so that you will have access to your Gmail and your Google Drive. Because the first thing I'm going to talk about today is the add-ons, and they are used in Google Drive, in documents, in spreadsheets, in presentations, in forms, etc. So I'll give you a minute to get signed into Chrome. Now, a little bit about the Chrome browser. If you notice on mine up on the screen, right under the search bar, or the area where you would type in URLs, you will see I have links to my favorite websites. So in Chrome, instead of having a favorites button, you actually will see them line up here. So I have my NKU, I have Atomic Learning, I have all my various things that I use a lot. And then I have two little carrots or arrows at the far right side. That means I have a few more things that won't fit on this screen. Well, what I would like you to do is find the collection of 9 squares, and when you hover over it, it says apps. The 9 squares, and when you hover over it, it says apps. And when you click that, all of your Google apps, well, I shouldn't say all, but the most commonly used apps will display. And I'd like you to click on Drive. Drive was what we worked with last session. Ellen showed you how to make a collaborative Google Doc. And then I showed you how to make a form and use Flubaroo. To see these various add-ons, if you will click Create.
Hold on, if you can for a minute. I don't
Sure.
know why I can't get rid of this on my screen. I can't get out of it, and I was where I needed to be. And I have no idea, and I can't exit out. All I can do is upgrade.
When you click the red Create button, you have your choice of things to create. And just to show you these add-ons, I'd like you to choose Document as the Google Drive application that we're going to open. Now, when Google came up with Drive, it was a bare bones version of Microsoft Office. And everybody was thrilled because we didn't have to pay for it, like Office is horrifically expensive. But the drawback was, because it was free, it was missing a lot of the things in Office that you really would like to have. So in order to pull those things in, they created things called add-ons. And you'll notice as you look at your menu bar, File, Edit, View, Insert, Format, Tools, Table, and then you see something called add-ons. If you click add-ons and you compare what you're looking at versus what you see on my screen up here, you're going to see that I have a few add-ons already added. I have something called EasyBib, Bibliography Creator. And that is so cool. As your students create things in Google Docs, they can go to EasyBib add-on, and it will create the bibliography entry for your students. And in a moment I'll show you a video on how it works. Once you see the video, you'll be good to go. Merge by MailChimp is what I use to send each of you a personalized invitation for today's class. You got it? And I don't know if you realized, but it said, dear, it was your first name. Did that trigger like, oh, how'd you do that? I did not personally type each one. Honest to goodness, I did that whole thing in 10 minutes flat. This is so cool. It's free and it's an add-on. MindMeister will allow you to create a mind map. And I'll show you that in a few minutes. The thesaurus is pretty much obvious.
Smart sheet merge.
Hmm?
You said merge in a smart sheet?
No, it's merge by MailChimp. So now if you'll click where it says Get Add-ons, you will be taken to the Chrome web store. And don't be fooled, just because it says store doesn't mean you have to pay. Thank you, Google, they're all free. I keep looking at my son, who's an IT guy, and I say, oh, please tell me they're not going to charge us for this. And he says, Mom, they make enough money with all their other stuff. So if you look through this, you will see some of the things you can add in or add on. So if you think you would like to be able to send out personalized emails to the parents of your students or to your students themselves, Merge by MailChimp is usually toward the top, and you will want to click Get the Add-on. Now mine says Manage because it knows I already have that. Yeah?
As far as I know, teachers don't have access to Google Mail. We have to do all our mail through our school email program. Will this program still be useful to me?
Megan is shaking her head yes.
Because it's just Google Gmail is what you
We don't have Gmail, it's disabled, isn't it?
Yes, correct, it is. But these are all different apps and add-ons. So there's definitely some that, oh, she's talking specifically about Merge. Probably it wouldn't work on Merge.
Actually, no, it will, because whatever email you use for your Google Chrome account, yes, it will work. Yeah, it'll work.
Okay, thank you.
It'll work.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, it'll work. So EasyBib is one you might want. If you're a language arts teacher, you might want the table of contents one. The handout I gave you last time has a list of them. Doctopus, I've never played with, but I've seen the video on it. Doctopus allows you to manage files that are going to students. So you can send some to some students and different ones to other students. You can differentiate that way. You can monitor their progress through those files. And then you can use Gubrick, which is a rubric creator, to then score their work. And all you have to do is put in a search for Doctopus and Gubrick, and you will get a YouTube video on how it works. Because Google owns YouTube, there are awesome directions for everything Google oriented on YouTube. All you have to do is do a search, and presto, it will come up. Gubrick and Doctopus. Doctopus and Gubrick. It was in your handout from last time. Goobric. There's a translation one there if you have foreign students. MindMeister is one I'm going to show you in a moment, so that might be one you would like. Glyphy is very similar. I just happen to like MindMeister better. Consistency checker. If you're a language arts teacher, the consistency checker might be of interest. What it does is it goes a step past the grammar and spell checker, and it checks for consistency in abbreviations, in numerals that have been typed, in addresses that have been typed, that it's all consistent. And even if you don't use it with your students, you might want it for yourself. The consistency checker. the URL shortener, but I'm going to show you another way to get that. So while you're looking through that a moment, I'm just going to put on here the video of how EasyBib works, because we all struggle with students. Is that slick? That just took all the pain out of doing research. What?
Where were they when I did my thesis?
I know. I know. And there have been bibliography creators around for a while, but this add-on makes it so incredibly easy that it's like, wow, I might be able to actually teach research now because the painful part's taken care of. So that's what EasyBib does. Let me show you, and you can still keep downloading things, let me show you what Merge does. I created a sample document to show you. So this is my sample document. It says greetings, and I've left 2 spaces before the exclamation point. And I've just typed a little note to you, and I've signed my name at the end. And I'm going to go to Addons, and I'm going to choose Merge by MailChimp. And then I'm going to choose Send Email. And it says working. And then it's going to ask me to pick a data source, which is very much like the Merge wizard in Microsoft Office products. So I have a document called the Mayerson Attendees. I'm going to pick that one and select it. And all it is a spreadsheet that has 3 columns. The first column is your first name, the second column is your last name, and the third column is your email address. And that was given to me by the good people at Mayerson. They sent me this big spreadsheet, and away I go. So now it says over here, I've chosen the data source. Now I want to go to my Merge tags. That's where I get to put in your name. So I'm going to put my cursor right before the exclamation point, and I'm going to click the word first, and presto, some little crazy computer characters go in, and that's code to tell it you're going to merge the first name from that column all the way down. And now I'm going to go to preview and see if it looks right. So I'm going to go to preview, and the first one that's going to load will be Cecilia. And it will show me that's her CPS email address. And then I can go to the next one and check that out. And that's going to Anne. And the next one's going to Rodney, and so on and so forth. And you can go through them all, but you don't have to do that. If you see a few and you go, yep, that's working all right. And then I'm going to X this because I don't need to look at any more of them. And now I'm going to click Send Email. And this is where it gets, in my estimation, a little feisty. It says, okay, I've chosen the list. I don't have a subject line in. I've got a return address. It knows it's coming from my Gmail, and I don't have the contact in. So I'm going to go to the subject line, and if I click this email information, it would tell me that. So anything that has a red asterisk, I have to comply with. So it's coming from Kathy. The subject line is going to be test of Merge by MailChimp. So you can see what it is. Permission reminder, I don't have to write in. I can align the footer. That's going to be my address at the bottom. And I don't have to put in a company name, but I do have to put in an address, a street address. So I'll just put in the Northern Kentucky University address. And then when I click send email, it's now going to say, ooh, we think everything's okay. It's loading. It says I've done all of my things. I've got my email recipients. It's going to 51 people. And when I click send, it's now ushering my email into the queue. And the cool thing, high fives, you did it right.
It can
Uh-huh.
not list all of the email addresses of everyone in here. That's it, I can't remember.
No, you have to have, no, that's the other cool thing about it, which bothers people when they send to a group. It has everybody's email address. I'm quite sure when you open this email up that's now come to you, it's only going to have your email address and you won't see all the others, which is another bonus, right? Right? In this day of privacy, and there is no privacy with Google, but in this day of privacy.
And it's free?
And it's free! Yes!
This is asking me if I want to buy a monthly plan.
No, you don't. No, you don't. It's free. And I can track the progress of it in my email. When I did this the first time I sent one to you, I was amazed. I did it at like 11 o'clock at night and I really needed to be in bed, but I had to get this email out. And it popped up a list on the right-hand side of the screen. Who had looked at it, who had looked at it. It was 0000, and then there was one guy, purple somebody.
Oh.
You had looked at it instantly the minute I sent it out. It was like, wow, I can see who. Free. Not even Microsoft can give me that data. So that's awesome. Let me just show you one other one. I don't know how much you're into concept mapping, but in the world I used to live in, with the elementary schools, concept mapping was a big thing. And I don't know how big it is for you, but I want to show it to you because, again, it's free, thanks to Google. If you have the software called Inspiration, you had to pay $60 a copy for it. It might be a little glitzier than this, but this does it. So I've just created a plain document of, and I wish that I could have titled it Google Drive Add-ons, but what I figured out as I played with this, the Google Drive's add-on had to be number 1 in my bullet list. And then number 2, 3, 4, and 5 are add-ons. And with MindMeister, which is a concept mapping add-on for free, I can highlight everything that I have here. When I go to my add-ons menu and I click on MindMeister, it says insert a mind map. It's working, it's working, it's working. And momentarily, like right now, a mind map is going to appear below what I highlighted. And in the middle, it's probably hard for you to see, is Google Drive's add-on. And then the 4 add-ons, which is 2, 3, 4, and 5, are out to the side with the descriptions out to the side of that. So if you're doing brainstorming or you're trying to link things together for kids with mind maps, this is awesome, and it's much cheaper than Inspiration, which is ridiculously expensive. I love it, but it's just not feasible. And if you want to get rid of your bullet list, you can just delete your bullet list, and the mind map will still stay there. So I can drag a highlight over this part, and if I can find the delete key, there we go. I can delete, sure it can. It's wanting to move all over the place. So I can delete all of the text and just have my mind map left. Okay. So those are add-ons, and there are hundreds of them. You just have to go and look for what you might be interested in. Okay, enough about that. You have to play with it, that's all there is to it. I can't make
Did you
like,
say basically these are available, like EasyBib especially is available to students when they go through Google Drive add-ons? Okay.
and once they add it on,
Yeah.
it's there forever, on whatever computer they use. So see, I'm logged into a CPS or a Mayerson computer. This isn't even my home computer. But because I'm logged in as me, all my stuff comes with me. In the beginning of computing, when you had that favorites list, well, that was all well and good. That favorites list is on my home computer. Now I gotta go to school and create it again. That was a pain. Or if I was smart enough, I could copy the folder from home and paste it onto the folder at school, but that requires a whole nother level of technology expertise, which most of us don't have.
Is there a way to merge your personal, like I have a regular Gmail account that I have all of my favorites on, and then the school Gmail account that doesn't have the, it has
I
to be
don't
manual.
think so. That would be a question to put into a Google search.
Okay,
But my hunch is it's not possible.
good deal, thank you.
Okay. Now, the other handout that I gave you last week was about Google Drive apps and extensions. Now again, if you look at my Chrome browser tab that I have open, a new one, you will see in the top right, after the address line, you will see apps. Or no, you will see extensions, excuse me. I misspoke. You will see extensions. The first extension I have on is something called Cite This For Me Webciter. So if I wasn't working in a Google Doc, this is also a citation machine that I could use. Another one I have is Digo. And Digo, I don't know if you're familiar with it, is a social bookmarking system where you can bookmark sites and you can even annotate and put sticky notes and highlight. And then you can give that list to your students. So if you want them to go to this website, but you want them to look at this thing down here, you can put a sticky note on it and you can highlight it and figure they take right to that spot. Digo is awesome, D-I-I-G-O. There have been a few that have come and gone, but Digo seems to stick around. It has the most power. The next one is called, that I have is called Bookmark on Symbaloo. And Symbaloo is another social bookmarking site. Any of you heard of Symbaloo or Digo? If you think that's something that might be of interest, Ellen and I could probably cover that next session for you. Symbaloo we love. Symbaloo makes tiles, very much like your Windows 8, but it makes tiles for websites. My daughter is a third grade teacher, and she uses Symbaloo all the time with her kids because third graders have a hard time getting to a specific site. So she'll create a Symbaloo group just for the social studies unit they're doing. And she'll give that to the kids, and then the kids can click on those tiles, and it takes them right to the site she wants them to go to. So Symbaloo is really powerful, and at the moment it's still free.
So,
Symbol, like CY symbol.
Symbaloo. And it's on your handout.
I hear you saying she makes a group for her social studies group. So, for instance, if I wanted to use Symbaloo in my class and there were, let's say, 3 research websites that I knew were good to go for my kids, and I wanted them, or let's say 7. I give them 7 different websites. They can pick from any of the 7 to pull their research from. And I make this group. How do I get that group onto the individual 32 laptops in my
You
class?
get an email address for that page. And
Oh, it's a web address.
yeah. And then you use the Google shortener, so they only have to type 6 characters.
Do that, GL, got it.
And they gotta have the capitals in the right place, but we're in that world where they gotta learn that.
Yep.
So Symbaloo is number 5 on this handout. Symbaloo. I'll talk to Ellen. I think we can squeeze that in if you'd like that. Symbaloo and Digo are just so valuable. Making a note to myself so I don't forget to talk to her about that. If any of you are Pinterest people, there's a Pinterest extension. Yeah.
How do you view an extension? How do I?
Ah, very good. Good question. How do you get an extension? You go to the Google Chrome store. So if you put in Chrome, whoop, I gotta spell it right. Chrome Web Store. And once you get something that looks right, you click on Chrome Web Store. And on the left-hand side, you see apps, and if you scroll down, you see extensions. So I'm going to talk about apps in a minute, but if you click on extensions, you will see their different categories. As teachers, you want to look at the accessibility and the productivity categories. Okay? Now you do want to take out your pen and that handout from last week, because I'm going to give you 4 things that weren't on that handout that I've found since we met last, and I think are really valuable.
On the Google Chrome apps and extensions handout?
Correct. So under extensions, I want you to add one called One, O-N-E, tab. One tab. What one tab does, if it makes you crazy to have all of these tabs open, one tab will put them in a list. So all you have to do is go to the extension over here, and I don't know why mine's not showing up because I have one tab on here. It has to be the screen resolution. But it'll make a list over on the left-hand side, and then you just click the one you want instead of having all these tabs open. Some people can open 50 tabs at once and it's like, oh my God, I can't see all those.
So
But-
when it makes a list, does the list pop up in like a frame window, like the apps and then?
And you pick the one you want and that one opens.
And then does that frame disappear, like is it?
Once you click on it, that frame disappears. Yeah,
You?
good question. The second one I want you to write down as an extension is called Clean Print. I know you've gone to websites and you've wanted to print the website and you get all the garbage on the side. Clean Print skinnies it down so you just get the content and you're not printing 50 pages when it should be 2 or 3. And the third one you want to write down, the third extension you want to write down is called EdPuzzle. And then puzzle.
Does that make crosswords for us?
No. The name is a misnomer. I don't know where on earth they got this name. But what EdPuzzle does is it allows you to take video that you find online, snip it down into the chunks you want to use, and record or narrate your voice over the top of it. Yeah. Now, I haven't done it myself, but I've watched the video. It looks pretty slick.
If EdPuzzle is an extension, I'm not finding it on the Chrome Web Store. I did a search for it, EdPuzzle, EdPuzzle.
Yeah, it's, if you just do a search up here in the search box for EdPuzzle, it comes up free.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Cooper?
Yeah, it is one word. That gets tricky. Now, so that's extensions, and there's bunches of them. And you just have to go looking, and you'll be surprised at what you'll find. The other thing that Google gives you is something called apps. Now, in our world, Microsoft Office has several apps, word processing, spreadsheets, you know. Google Drive has apps. Apps are things that let you do things, right?
Yeah. Applications.
Okay, so if you search for apps, I'm going to click out of that. There are categories of apps, and for sure you want to look in the education category. And you probably also want to look in the productivity category. But the apps, once you install them, will show up here on the left. Now you look at my screen for just a moment where my mouse is pointing. You see the word apps, and I think it's 9 colored squares. When I click on that, it's going to open my apps. Now, some of those we know already. Google Drive and whatever, whatever.
And you have to have apps before you get that little colored.
Yeah, probably. Yes. But if you're a math teacher, you'd be interested in the GeoGebra app, which lets GeoGebra open right on your screen. GeoGebra is free, dynamic math software. MindMeister, which was an add-on in Drive, you can also just go straight to the MindMeister site and work with this. The one you're really going to love is Summarize This. I don't know if you ever got into Office 2003, but in Office 2003, they had this wonderful function that so few people knew about that they took it out. But it allowed you to copy text into Word and then summarize it so that when you have to differentiate for kids that can't read all on the same level, it did it for you. So I'll show you how Summarize This works. When I click it, it opens. Aww. What?
Murphy's Law.
Megan, you got to work on this.
Murphy's Law.
Well, tell me who I can talk to.
Are you going to cover the apps that are on this handout? Because there's some that I'm super excited about.
No, I'm going to let you go on your own. What? Did it? Summarize this. Well, I'm just going to... Ooh, is it going to come up? Aye, 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 aye.
Summarize this.
Oh. Thankfully, it catches my bad spelling. Well, I'm still getting blocked, but if you're lucky enough to get it, and even if CPS blocks you, do it at home. All you have to do is like go to Wikipedia, take a body of text, copy it, paste it in, and click Summarize This, and you'll have your choice of summarizing at 5 different levels from 3rd grade through 12th grade.
How does it?
I don't know how it does. It has an algorithm. I know that, but honestly, it has an algorithm. And I've tested this over and over with the one that was in Office, and it does a pretty decent job. Now, if it's something written by a kid, you know that's all over the joint. It's not going to do as good a job. But if it's an article like, my test is always volcanoes, so I go to the Wikipedia site, I bring up volcanoes, I paste it in. Oh my gosh, it takes something from this big down to this, and somehow it gets all the salient points in. It really does an amazing job. So if you have to differentiate, and I know you do, this is like your best friend. I could have killed Microsoft when they took that out of the software for Office 2007, and I haven't honestly seen 2010, but they somehow get this idea something's not being used and they wipe it out. I'm sure that algorithm could just be put right back in, but they didn't. But this, when I found it, was like, whoo, hot dog, it's back. We can use it. What one are you hot to trot about? I can see you just itching over there.
There are three that I've got my eye on, and you can cut me off when you got it. Socrative,
Yeah.
it says student response system. So
Yeah.
as in, I can set up a game and Sally can buzz in before Billy?
No,
No.
you can set up a series of questions. So as you're teaching, you can set up a series of questions to check for content understanding. And with the kids with their devices in front of them, when you post the question, they can respond and you see, oh yeah.
Wait, like we
It's like a response
we did
system.
The surveys in here when the questions posted up there.
Similar idea. It
Okay.
just does it slightly different.
Typing club. It says touch typing tutor.
That,
Only touch. What
yeah,
does it mean by touch typing?
touch typing is the QWERTY keyboard and learning to type that way. So if you have kids whose typing skills are zilch, which many of them are, you put them there.
Typing.
Yeah.
And then the last one, and thank you so much. Flashcards. Can I make my own flashcard?
You bet.
Tell it what.
Yep. 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 Yep.
Thank you.
And Class Dojo, I don't know if in your world,
A miracle.
but my daughter in 3rd grade uses Class Dojo to control behavior.
Kids love it.
Woo! And the
Does it
parents.
give them pluses and burn off the points.
So I don't know how that fits into your world, but I list Class Dojo because it's pretty awesome. Blend Space is an app also, and Ellen showed you a blend space thing last time. It may have gone in one ear and out the other, but if you go to if you go back here to our website that we're creating for you, and you go under collaboration, you'll see a blend space thing.
So that was created with blend space.
Yep.
Got it. Thank you, bunches.
You know, I could truly spend an entire session just on these because they're so powerful. But what I wanted to show you was a few of the biggies, in my estimation, where you can go get them. And then you just need that old 4-letter word, time. It's about as dirty a word as some others, to be able to go get it. And again, because these are made by Google, there's just about a YouTube video on each one of these things.